Boker Tov. Yes, the sun is coming out. It's about a little after 5:30 now. I woke up to my alarm at 5:15 this morning. We went to bed actually pretty early. I was in bed by 20 past 8, which is crazy early for me. And it was actually not bad when I went to bed. It was, I might even call it warm. And not so anymore. I'm freezing. I had to actually roll down my pant legs. I couldn't do anything before, go to the washroom, nothing before I got, fully dressed. It is freezing out here. We only have 2 more nights outside. Me and this other fellow that I was hiking with yesterday, are sort of off and on. We've both decided that we're going to break up this next section into 2. So we're going to sleep at one night camp tonight, and then at the regular night camp tomorrow night. And then that's going to be the last section down to Eilat. So excited, but I can't wait to get into the warm. At the same time, I hope that today's not too hot. Yesterday was a pretty good day for hiking, so hoping today is the same because there's quite a bit of climbing involved today. So that's actually one of the main reasons why I've broken it up into 2, because otherwise if I went straight through to Shehoret Night Camp, I think it's Shehoret Night Camp, it would require a lot of climbing today, and in quite a fairly long distance, 23 something kilometers, and I just don't want to do that. So splitting the climbing up into 2, splitting the distance into 2, and that'll let me just sort of savor the moment and enjoy the last little bits of this, but I just hope it's warmer tonight. Did I say I was cold? I'm cold. Holy crap, yes. I've put on my toque, and I've repurposed my sun gloves to warmth gloves, and usually I have my pants rolled up as capris. They're rolled right down, except not right down because they're a little bit too long. But anyways, the other thing that I forgot to mention was the guy that I've been hiking with last night. He said he wants to see a hyena. Sure, I'd love to see a hyena too, but not from too close. I think I heard them last night. I woke up to some very, very strange noise. Not too close, probably I'm standing about maybe 40 meters from my campsite. They probably were round about here somewhere. They were making strange noises, whatever they were. I'm pretty sure they were hyenas, because I haven't heard that sound before. The jackals didn't make that sound. Yeah, it was weird. I can't even, it was almost like a heh, heh, heh. Almost like a funny kind of laugh, but it wasn't human, which makes me kind of figure that's where they get the laughing hyena from, maybe. But anyways, maybe it wasn't hyenas, I don't know, but that is certainly what came to mind at night when I heard that noise. And it went on for a little bit, and then it went away, so I assume they went away. They didn't grab my bag at least, so that's good. Alright, back to my old bad habits. It's 10 past 7, and I'm just getting off breaking camp right now. It was too cold. If I have to wear my puffy jacket to hike, it's too cold. So I waited until the sun was high enough that I can feel a little bit of warmth, enough to take my puffy jacket off. I'm still cold, but I can't do it with the puffy jacket. And so, yeah, so I'm ready to go now. The sun is a little bit warm on me, and it's 7:10, and I think I have everything. Last couple days. Here we go. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, geez. No, you probably can't see them because they're too far away. They're actually very close, but they look really far away on the screen. There's ibex out for breakfast, hanging out at the local acacia tree. A whole bunch of them. Beautiful. Oh, and a little baby, a tiny little baby right over there. Oh man, this is just amazing. One thing I wanted to mention about yesterday that quite surprised me. After we left the restaurant, Onan left a little bit, well, quite a bit before me. And then I found him sitting under that shade tree that I discovered, which was replete with trail magic, by the way, and all kinds of things hanging from the trees. It was quite funny. And I wish I had taken a picture. Just like I wish I had taken a picture of me at the mushroom yesterday morning. But I didn't. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyways, so there was like an old espresso pot. There was like a pacifier, a fire starter, all kinds of weird stuff, bells hanging from that tree. And little sayings in frames. It was really quite nice. And then there was a box of trail magic and a bottle of water, like a jug of water underneath it. So really, really lovely. Whoever left it there, thank you. And but the thing that surprised me was I left the restaurant about just before 1, and I got to that tree just after 2, and that was a distance of just barely under 5 kilometers. So actually, I'm really, really pleased because that means I'm doing so much better. Mind you, it wasn't very hot, especially for 1 o'clock. But that means I did like at least 4, maybe 4.5 kilometers in an hour with my pack. And my pack is still super heavy because I have 4 days of food in it. And in the heat of the day, such as it was yesterday. So I'm pretty pleased. I've got stronger, learned some lessons along the way, and still looking for markers, but there's one right there at least. That one's going in the other direction, but there was one in my direction as well. So that was not a Shvil marker. Well, technically a Shvil marker because Shvil means trail. But when I talk about the Shvil, I mean the Shvil Israel. So there are also Shvil Kahol, Shvil Yarok, Shvil Adama, I don't know, Shvil Shehoret, and basically what the Shvil does is it takes, for the most part, takes pre-existing trails and links them together into one long trail. So a lot of the ways you're actually looking for green markers or black markers rather than Shvil markers, although occasionally there will be Shvil markers interspersed, and you want to see those Shvil markers because if you don't, you could have just followed the green trail where it splits from the Shvil, and you could be going wrong. So it's a challenge. you have to stay on top of things with the red book, especially with the maps and with the app. So really you can't rely on any one single resource. You have to use everything to your advantage, to at least if you want to stay on the Shvil. So there you go. So like I said, that was a green Shvil marker I showed you just a minute ago. And just a little ways further down the trail, again, is a Shvil marker. So that always makes me happy when I see a real Shvil marker, because then I know for sure that I'm on the Shvil. So this is what I was talking about. You might have noticed we started out in the morning on the green trail. For a while now, we've been on a black trail. So you really have to keep your eyes open for that stuff. And look at that view. I just entered this little canyon and there's a funky cave in here. It's not very deep, but it's probably about 4 or 5 meters deep. And looks like a kind of cool place, but I'm looking for the pits. There's supposed to be some pits here with water in them. And as usual, I've probably just walked right by them. They're supposed to be just to the side of the trail according to the map. But the red book says, climb a rock and you will come to the pits. So, I don't know. And I don't want to sit here and wait for Rona to show up, because then I will have already taken my break. So I may just end up not taking a break because I can't find the pits. Or take my break afterwards. According to the red book, there's a perfect place for a break a little while past here. So the red book doesn't seem to think the pits are a break spot. So maybe I'll just keep going. If I find the pits, great. And if I don't, then I don't. But I'll find my palm oasis break spot. But I do apparently have to climb over some rocks. So maybe I'm not quite there yet. And I see Ronan. So maybe we can find them together. He knows how to find these things better. Like, all the Israelis seem to have like a nose for these places, and I just can't find them. So I don't know. Rounded a corner and there's supposed to be a palm tree oasis, which is a perfect place to take a break according to the red book. So rounded the corner, there's a palm tree there behind the rock somewhere, and then a clump of palm trees right there. I guess that's my break spot for a little bit. Not exactly what I was expecting, but I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, there's definitely shade. And it's interesting, it's not even that super hot. I don't mind sitting in the sun. Because again, like yesterday, it's not like a super hot day. In fact, most of the morning up till now, and I've been trying to avoid the shade because it's been cool or cold in the shade. And back at the pits, we found the pits, but there was no water in them. And the rocks were really cold to sit on. So I just didn't even want to take a break there. But hopefully I can find someplace comfortable to sit on. And sure, a little bit of shade wouldn't hurt. Just look at that view. Oops, we're over there. And again, so we started on a green trail, then we ended up on a black trail, and now, oops, we're on a blue trail. So that's how it works on the Shvil. After the climb that it took us to get this view, now we've reached, I think, the top of the mountain, and you're gonna walk the top with me. Those mountains are the mountains of Jordan, and that is the Sea of Aqaba. On the other side of the Gulf, you can, where those freighter ships are, you can see Aqaba, and on this side you can see the hotels of Eilat and the mountains around Eilat. It's just too bad that the sun is shining into it, so the exposure's not great, but that view was just amazing. We just sat there having tea and coffee with a couple of day hikers and just admiring the view for quite a bit. But then it hit 12 o'clock and I just couldn't stay any longer. I would have loved to have stayed and just sat there because we're in no hurry. We're making really good time, and we've taken an easy day for today to get to the halfway point of this section, and we're gonna stay at this night camp and then do the other half tomorrow, just to do it nice and easy for the end and enjoy. But despite all my time that I have and I could have spent up there, can't do it. This is a really cool spot. There's like bright red stone, white stone, and black stone. It's like Neapolitan ice cream almost. That is just really, really cool. But the descent is treacherous, and I've already slipped and slid numerous times, so I'm gonna have to put you guys away so that I can get down safely. So these are called Amram's pillars, and don't know who Amram was. I think he was probably some kind of Egyptian god. I should probably check that out for you. This is really weird. I couldn't see the carvings at the other one, at the Hathor's temple, but those two things right there, to me, those very clearly do not look natural. They look very much human, man-made, and otherwise the whole place is really quite magnificent. But I imagine that those two there are were originally probably some kind of shrine to Amram, but I don't know that for certain. I'm just guessing. But definitely would have been the kind of place where probably back in the day they would have wanted to put a shrine to the gods, just because it's really quite imposing. And there's lots of stuff, lots of cutouts kind of up in the rock, like even that one up there. Doesn't really look natural, but I don't know how you would get there to carve that out, so maybe it is natural. I mean, obviously you could rappel there these days, but back in those days, I don't know. But very amazing spot. But there's no shade. I was looking for shade and there's no shade. So I gotta keep going. Oh yeah. Definite carvings here. That stuff for sure. Carved, man-made. Huh. And even over there. So yeah, I'm sure that this is some kind of ancient shrine. Here's some more Neapolitan ice cream. If you can see it for the sun. We've got strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. But this time, it's milk chocolate. Back there it was dark chocolate. And then we have like just a plain strawberry vanilla mix over there, like strawberry shortcake, I guess. This is so amazing. I'm just loving all these colors of rock all over the place. It's just, and there's that dark chocolate. Dark chocolate, or you could say licorice, you know, like in Tiger Tail. That would be over there. So you've got your black and your orange, your licorice and orange for Tiger Tail. I'm loving this. And another funny rock formation in the middle of the desert. And like so many other things around here, it has Morse code on it. Well, I found the night camp after like about a kilometer of getting quite annoyed about the supposed shortcut to the night camp over there by that mountain that we supposedly saw. Yeah, the chocolate mountain, right there. That we supposedly saw from up on top of that cliff. But that would make sense because there is no night camp over at the chocolate mountain. The night camp is right here at the Neapolitan mountain. Vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, right? I guess they've moved it. That would be the only other explanation. So my hiking buddy said that they had either created a shortcut to the night camp or they had moved it. So it looks like they've moved it. But this little tree here is the only shred of shade within sight, at least within any kind of reasonable walking distance, unless I go sit over there under that cliff. But I think I'm just going to sit here, wait it out for a little bit. Oh, but there might be someplace nicer to sit under the cliff. Anyways, I have to wait it out for a little bit because it's too hot to go and just sit in one of the night camp spots. So just gonna chill and then we'll see where we go from there. The sun is going down and not a sign of my hiking buddies. So I'm gonna have to start getting ready to organize pretty soon because I don't want to have too much stuff to do after dark. But just wanted to show you how this setup is. So there's little kind of horseshoe-shaped inlet type of things that give you a little bit of shelter from the wind and a little bit of sort of, I guess, group cohesiveness. So there are smaller ones. There's 2 particularly smaller ones, one at each end, and then 2 sort of medium-sized ones and 1 larger one right there. And so I was just kind of contemplating this, whether I should take a private or a dorm. And especially the private, the small one over there, I'm calling it the private room, the small one over there and the medium one over there are really rocky, and so I didn't really like that. The big one, in case nobody else shows up, that just makes me feel very kind of exposed. And then the little one over here, which is otherwise fine, if it's just me and one other person, then why not just share one medium one? So if we both feel inclined to be social as opposed to antisocial. So I just decided that this one's the one I'm going to take. And then if and when anybody shows up, they can decide what they want to do. And but at least I won't feel totally exposed if they don't show up. And yeah. So anyways, so that was my thinking behind this. And for those of you who might be thinking, who are thinking and planning to come, this is the Shehoret night camp. And it's kind of halfway between the endpoints of the Red Book second last day, or if you're starting from Eilat, second day. And so we decided that we were going to break this section up into 2 just to give us a little bit of an easier hike. And I'm so glad I did. So glad I did, because it's not a super hard hike, but by the time I got here to that shade tree with no shade at the sort of on the coming down from that mountain and stuff, I just was really happy to just stop and chill. So in the Red Book and on the app, it's actually showing the night camp as being somewhere over there, which it's not. It has been moved to where it's right beside the Shvil. So just wanted to make sure you guys know about that. It's a really good option to break up this section into 2. I would highly recommend it. And for those of you who are starting from the north, it's a great way to sort of ease into the end. And yeah, I saw Eilat from that mountain and I can't wait. But at the same time, it's kind of a little bit bittersweet. It's the end. And so just to kind of stretch it out a little bit more and enjoy the last few days, now that I've sort of gotten a hang of it, I really thought that this was a good idea. And for those of you who are starting from the south, if you don't have your trail legs yet, also a really good idea, I think, just to break up this section. It'll be the second day. It's the section from the north, Raham Etek, to Shehoret night camp, and from the south, Shehoret night camp to Raham Etek. And it's about halfway. It's called Shehoret, and I highly recommend using this night camp. It is now very accessible to the Shvil, so a really great option. I climbed up to higher ground to see if I can get some signal, and I see one of my hiking buddies showing up. Not the one that I was expecting, so I don't know what happened to him. But anyways, hopefully he'll show up soon. I'll ask Gil here what happened to him. But anyways, so I won't have to camp out alone tonight, so that's nice. I did get signal up here, and I just got a message from the hiker that I was expecting that he's at the Shehoret night camp. I'm at the Shehoret night camp. He's not here, so apparently there's two Shehoret night camps, and we're each at a different one. So, not sure what's going on there. I sent him a message back telling him that I was at the other night camp. So I don't know if he's gonna come over here or not. But for those of you who are thinking of doing the Shvil, yes, the night camp, the Shvil literally goes right by the night camp. Okay guys, we finally found all my buddies, well, the ones that I know of, and everything's good. I'm not camping alone, and as you can see, it's really dark, so I'm just gonna say Eilat.